We're joined now by the Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Lisa Brown. Lisa, thank you for being with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Tyler.
Appreciate having you on. How are you? How's your team been during all of this?
We're busy. We're busy. you know, New challenges with trying to get an election run during a pandemic, but we'll get it done.
Last week it was announced with, of course, yourself, County Executive David Coulter, and others of local clerks from around the local area, the Oakland County Democracy Initiative. Can you give us a little bit of an overview about what that initiative is and how it's going to help make this election effective and safe for our Oakland County voters?
So that was a committee formed by our chair of the Board of Commissioners, Dave Woodward, and with local clerks, people from interest groups, and then our director of elections, Joe Roselle, served as vice chair, and then one of the commissioners served as chair. And they talked about different issues that election administrators are facing with this election in a pandemic, and what could the county do to assist in ensuring that everything goes as smoothly as possible. And so the press conference we had last week was announcing the initiatives. One of them is, I guess I'll call it like a hazard pay, a bonus pay for election workers this August. On top of what they would normally get, they will get an additional $50 supplied by the county. We purchased a lot of equipment at the county. There was a new bill that was signed into law that allows local municipalities to contract either with one another or with the county to process their absentee ballots. And I have signed many agreements, 16 agreements for August that we will be processing. So this is brand new, processing absentee ballots on behalf of, or with partnership with those municipalities. And so we had to get extra equipment for that. And so there's a slew of things that we're working on to make sure that everything runs smoothly, that results come in a timely fashion, all those sorts of things.
And Clerk Brown, you want to make sure that people that are voting absentee, especially during this pandemic, and with the new constitutional amendment allowing no reason absentee voting, that you're going to see an influx. We're already seeing an influx of people that are registered to vote absentee and have received their absentee ballots. And now maybe there's an added concern of getting those votes in and counted with new regulations that say that these absentee votes are not going to count if they are not into their precinct by the time that the polls close on election day, both for the primary and for the general election. Is there anything else that you and your office and other clerks and municipal clerks in the Oakland County area are working on to help curb that issue and get these votes in, make sure that our absentee voters, especially with the influx of them that we're going to have in this election, are going to have their votes counted?
Yes. So first of all, that's another part of the initiative is a voter education piece to the puzzle. And, in August, it's different. How you have to vote your ballot is different than in November. And in August, just like with the presidential primary, that's a different one too. So, but in August, you can only vote one party. So if you split your ticket, this is not the time to do it. Otherwise, none of that section will count. So this is something I want to remind voters of. Pick a party, and then when you flip your ballot over, you have to stay with that same party. But there's also a nonpartisan column. So vote that too. And use a blue or black ink pen. Now, as far as getting your ballot in time, I encouraged our local clerks to have secure, large outdoor drop boxes, so you don't have to worry about the postal service, because we know they're overburdened with this as well. So I know in talking with Debbie Binder, our West Bloomfield clerk, that I know she had ordered one, and when I was talking to her, I'm like, why don't you get another one? And so I know she put in an order, and the Secretary of State actually was offering to pay for one drop box for each municipality. So people should look for those in their community as well, or contact their local clerk's office to see if they have a drop box and where that drop box is, and that will help ensure that you get it there in time. But also on the Secretary of State's website, there's something that we call an absentee ballot tracker. And I actually have a link to it on my website, that you can see where in the process your absentee ballot is. So I know people, are concerned. I requested it 2 weeks ago. I haven't received it. Did they get my request? Or I mailed it. Did they get it? All those sorts of things. And one last thing, probably not last, but one other thing, when you do return your absentee ballot, make sure you sign that outer envelope. That is key. Otherwise, again, your ballot isn't going to be counted. And hopefully if you forgot that, your local clerk will be reaching out to you saying, you need to remedy that. But make sure you sign that outer envelope, use a blue or black ink pen, only vote one party, stay with that same one party when you flip over your ballot.
Lisa Brown.
It's a lot to remember.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a lot. Lisa Brown with us. She is the Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. And we've talked with other clerks before about this. Many people are voting absentee in this election, either by choice or out of an abundance of caution with the pandemic. But many people, myself included, we tend to be voters that like to vote in person at the polls. And there's a lot of concerns there, and myself included, with poll voting this year with the pandemic still very much in mind, and definitely going to be a factor in August and potentially even still in November. What measures are being taken from the county level down to these municipal clerks and these precincts to ensure that these facilities remain safe during the election, both for the election workers and for those that are filing in?
Well, precincts are under the purview of the local clerk. But I will tell you again, the Secretary of State has said that they're providing PPE, so masks, that sort of thing, for the precincts. It is suggested, or more than suggested, that voters do wear a mask when they go to vote. Another thing you could do is bring your own pen. So again, a blue or black ink pen, if you're worried about touching a pen that somebody else has and it wasn't sanitized. And I know our local clerks are all working on ensuring that everything is safe as possible. Sneeze guards, all those sorts of things in our precincts. And I'm actually part of Vote Safe, which is a bipartisan coalition that believes and wants to ensure that everyone has the right to cast their ballot safely, whether it be in a precinct or by absentee. So there's a lot of people working on this issue, and yeah, there are going to be people who want to go to their precinct on election day. And like I said, masks are, we would like people to be wearing masks. The poll workers will be wearing masks. There'll be hand sanitizer. We're going to be asking people to sanitize like before and after probably. And just all these different measures that you're taking really when you go anywhere, when you go to the grocery store, it's the same sort of thing. So, just common sense things that we have now kind of implemented as our everyday life when you go to the polls.
Do you anticipate there will be fewer polling places open this upcoming election?
No, not right now. So not for August. In May, so we didn't have any May elections in Oakland County, but other counties in Michigan did. And what came down from Lansing was that each municipality had at least one precinct open. But this is a different election. It's a bigger election, obviously. And there has been no hint of that. And now we're so close to the election that we'll have every precinct will be open. And I guess I would like to put in a plug if anybody wants to work. I know that our local clerks are always looking for workers, as well as we are for our absentee voting county board that we're doing this time in August. We're always looking for people to work in the polls as well. So you do get paid for it.
Are we experiencing a shortage in election workers? I know that before it's been kind of a struggle, particularly from my communications with the West Bloomfield Township Clerk, Debbie Binder, in past elections, that they're always looking for new people and are trying to get more people to work these elections, especially with the critical election year that we're in right now and the situation we're in with the pandemic. Are you noticing that we're still having a bit of a struggle to bring in new election workers to fill those gaps?
It's not just even bringing in new people. It's the people that are seasoned maybe are hesitant about working. So a lot of our workers are seniors, and, may fall into a category that puts them more at risk for COVID and just aren't feeling comfortable. So so I guess in that regard, new, but we're always, I think everybody's always looking for poll workers. And, as technology has changed and everybody now uses the electronic poll books, I think our local clerks would love to have some, younger workers as well who are more computer savvy and that sort of thing. And so it's a good gig for a day to, you have to get trained first, get your certification, and that takes a few hours. And then it is a long day, I'm not going to lie. But, you are an important part of the democratic process when you do work in elections. So I encourage anyone who may be interested to either reach out to their local clerk or, with my office, we have our application online on our website if they're interested in working on our absentee counting board.
Lisa Brown with us, the Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds, on our family of TV and radio stations on the Oakland County Megacast on 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake and 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. Lisa, just before we let you go, anything else you'd like to touch on today?
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody remembers that the election is coming up. And I think you already mentioned this, Tyler, but yes, your ballot does have to be received by 8 p.m. on election day. So we do want to make sure everybody's vote counts. It's your right to exercise, and you should use your voice and make sure you cast your ballot and get it in on time. Like I said, if you're voting absentee, sign that outer envelope, whether you're in person or by mail, blue or black ink pen. Like I said, we want everybody's vote to count. You're taking the time to fill out that ballot. We want to make sure it counts.
Lisa, we appreciate having you on today.
Thanks for having me.
Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Lisa Brown with us on the Oakland County Megacast.